Okay, the live event has started.
Okay. Yeah, I'm getting some emails on that. Okay. Richard, make an announcement that we've started and see if anybody can hear us.
Yeah, I actually did. We just started.
Okay.
So I just published that we are live now. Enjoy the meeting.
Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. I trust that you all are here. Can't see you as this is an MS Teams live event. At the live event, attendees do not have access to microphones or cameras for us to see them, but you can contact us or talk to us through a question and answer up on the top right-hand corner of your screen. You should see a little question and answer icon. If you have something that you'd like to ask us or comments you'd like to make, you can access through there. So with that, let's begin this little presentation on the L20 Type 12 automatic tool changer machine. We are here to talk about the Citizen L20 Type 12 ATC, as it's called, the automatic tool changer machine. This is the latest innovation in the L20 line of machinery from Citizen Machinery. We're going to do a little introduction today, let you know what it's all about. It does stand for automatic tool changer, something innovative that we put on this machine. First of all, how did we develop this machine? I'm going to go back the Wayback Machine and give you a little bit of history about the L series and how we arrived at this point in time. The L series machine, there's about a 30-year history of the Citizen-Cincom L series, and throughout that time has been a constant series of design improvements and innovations. We've not stopped making these improvements. The machine is actually one of the best-selling Swiss lathe in the world at this time. The L320 was not the first L series, but certainly the beginning of the evolutionary process. Many of this outstanding models are still in service today. This says a lot about how well built these machines are. For some of us, this may have been the first Citizen-Cincom that we ever ran. I know it was mine. Very beloved machine in the industry. The L520 was introduced in the 1990s and saw the introduction of live face working tools as an option on the gang. It was available on the gang slide, as well as on the back and in working spindles. Something new, very much first innovation. In 2004, we saw the L720 on the scene with more innovative features and options. Citizen always have a certain modular aspect of the machines, but the L720 was the first one marketed as a modular machine with several tooling options available. Citizen Streamline Control made its debut on the L720. This is an innovative software machine construction that reduced non-productive cycle times by as much as 40%. Some customers even experienced gains of over 50% in productivity. It's a modular concept, streamline control. What does it mean by streamline control? Some of these innovations on the streamline control are things such as direct spindle indexing. No longer did you have to stop, orient your spindle, and then index to a certain point as you did in the past. Now it just went directly to whatever angle you programmed it to. Another innovation was called the axis move overlap function. When performing a single point threading operation, you can see now the instead of the standard little box pattern where the tool went in Z, mounted, pulled out in X, back in Z, and at X, it overlapped its X and Z function, drastically reducing the cycle time. Some other features of the machine were the reduction in processing time, the macro processing and PLC ladder scan times were sped up considerably. Another thing was the tool lap overlap function. This allowed the tools, ID tools, to begin approaching the workpiece as the turning tool was retracting. No longer did you have to complete one operation before another can begin. Streamline control was really a game changer for a lot of customers. When they saw how much productive the L720 was, they gained significant amount of cycle time. My own experience is I had a customer who had an L720, found it very productive, but for reasons of finances, they could not afford a new one, so they went out and bought a used L520. Called me up about 3 months later, wanting to upgrade the L520 to the L720 control because they found out that the money they saved on the used machine, they were going to lose in the first year in terms of lost productivity. So this streamline control really added a lot to the game. Some of the benefits are they increased the rapid feed rate from 20 meters a minute to 32 and up to 45 meters, depending on a model. The ECL deceleration time was 1.6 times that of the conventional model. We had shockless acceleration deceleration function to reduce vibration during sudden speed changes. So the faster acceleration deceleration became very usable because of this shockless function. So you could get there really quick. Direct spindle indexing eliminated the need to 0-point return before indexing. The axis movement overlap, as I explained, doing tool change. Then along came the L20 Type 9 in 2010 with the additional tooling available off the gang slide. I'll show you something here. Second. Okay, note this standard gang slide is standard with all L series models. You got your turning tools, some cross-working tools. On the L20 Type 9, we had this additional tool block here, which allowed for mounting in 3 positions, several different tool options. You could have a cross-working tool, you got some in-working tools, you could have some live face tools, front and back. In addition, we added a little deep hole drilling function. You get your live tool block. So this was another step in the evolution of the machine by adding more tools and making it, again, more functional and more versatile. 2011, we saw the L20E Type 10. This had added a Y-axis to the opposite tool post, which gives us additional tooling capability on the front and back side. You can see here, this is a modular area with 6 tools, 3 of them being driven. Back here, you've got 8 tools with 4 of them being driven. Plus, again, the same tool layout you find with the L20 Type 9. So once again, we've increased our capability of the machine, still maintaining the basic L series platform. So let's just see a little bit how this will function. You see this, you've got your Y-axis in the front. This allowed actually for bench milling as well. Now these features have been carried forward on all additional models subsequent to that. 2014 was a great year for MCC and Citizen. It was MCC's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, 2 new innovations were introduced at IMTS. First off, the L220 Type 12 with a programmable B-axis and the gang slide was brought out. The Type 12 did not do away with the features on previous models. It only added to it, retaining the Y-axis and other modular functions. Let's take a quick look here at the Type 12 in operation. Come on, Glen. Okay. So you see now the back block there working with the y-axis, doing the interpolation move. Up here you've got your b-axis programming at an angle, fully programmable throughout this whole range, 105 degrees. Back as well, with 45 degrees of work capable. So see, we also got the standard functions of most Ls. We've got of all the Ls, we have the front drilling operations here. Looking very nice, very fast machine. Note the speed of the gang plate. Standard turning functions, as we see. Now you've got your B-axis programming in. Doing some 3-axis contouring here. For those of you who've never done this, one of the things that Citizen also did is they gave some innovations to their software design to make the programming of angles relatively easy. You no longer have to make a lot of very complex calculations to get that angled hole or angled drilling. Citizen did some things to make it very easy, and in the future presentations we'll be talking about the B-axis and how to program that. The other thing we did that year, we surprised everyone by unveiling the L20 with a laser cutting attachment. This was another game changer, and that allowed us to attach a laser cutting machine right to an L20 to make a lot of operations that previously were not possible. This mounted on any of the L20 models that greatly expanded the capability of the machines. This was developed as an add-on option that could be attached to not only new machines, but certain older generations. Another interesting side note is the competition thought they'd beaten everyone with their laser at the show until they saw that we had one as well, proving once again that we are the competition. The next big game changer for the L20 and Citizen was the development and release of LFV Technology in 2018. That's low frequency vibratory cutting. As most of you know, this technology greatly improves productivity by minimizing, if not eliminating, chip wrap and buildup. Productivity levels skyrocket for users of this technology. Let's take a look here real quick. This is just a demonstration of it. It's a very simple video to give you a show of what's involved in this and how it can save some time. Utilizing the LFV really cuts back, it minimizes, makes very small chips through the process. You can see on the left, standard cutting on a nylon part makes very long, stringy chips that can tend to wrap around the workpiece. On the right side with the LFV, the chips coming off in very tiny flakes, no chip wrap, no wrapping around the part. No need to stop the machine to clear the chips as you would with other types of cutting operations without it. We will cover this in greater depth in the future, but suffice to say that this was another major game changer for a lot of customers, drastically increased their productivity as well. Okay, that brings us to date, the L20 Type 12 with an automatic tool changer. At IMTS 2018, we unveiled the prototype of this machine, and now 1.5 years later, the L20 ATC is in production, is now released for sale. So what does it do? Let's take a quick look to see how this tool changer operates. It's mounted on a standard L20 Type 12, so you get your B-axis movements here, as you can see. Wait for it. Pretty something to be. Well, I was amazed when I first saw this. When I first heard about the L20 Type 12, I thought, that's kind of a dumb idea. Who would want to put a big old tool changer, not knowing what it was about, until I saw this move and look at this. Very compact, very fast. I became an instant believer in this machine once I saw it. Multiple tools mounted on this attachment. Standard Type 12 functions here. Compact, quick change, very fast. Okay, added to the ATC, the L12, it still retains the basic layout of the machines. As you can see from the side-by-side comparison, the only major difference is replacement of the B-axis spindle with the tool changer post. This is your standard L20 Type 12. We've replaced this tool post here, mounting this one here to give you your B-axis. All the back live tools, front live tools, the Y-axis, those maintain the same. You have your 5 turning tools, a couple of cross-working tools here. So here, the back and end working capability with the ATC is the same as we have on the L20 Type 10 and 12. So we haven't lost anything, we've just gained a lot. The tool layout, as you see here, the one thing that we do lose is you do lose position T9, but with the additional of 13 live spindles, it's not much of a loss. So let's take a look at the changer in action here just real quick. Basic back and forth, very simple. Okay, let's take a peek behind the scenes and see what's going on here with the tool changer here. You can see the changer back here. Pulls out of the way so chips don't get inside there during the cutting process. Tool changes. Backs up, cover goes over it, protecting all the spindles here from any chips getting in there and damaging it. Okay, because of the size, we do have to use a little bit smaller than average tool holders. This is a 15T taper shank collet holder that we use on this tool changing machine. They are available right now. Currently, we only have one source in the United States that you need to be aware of. It's a Yakiwa Seiko. This is the contact information for the company where you can buy them from. So we can get that to you later if you need this. Some of the specifications that are very important on here is there's the rotary tool spindle on the ATC is a 12,000 max RPM, very fast, has a 3 horsepower output. As I said, 15T taper holders. That's capable of, the tool change is capable of mounting 12 tools, plus we have one permanently mounted on the spindle. So you've got 13 tools, which bring the total number of tools capable in this machine to 34. The tool change time, chip to chip, is 4 seconds, extremely fast. You can use a max 30 millimeter diameter, and the tool shank is 10 millimeters. It's an ER16 collet that goes in there. That's standard with our machines with the cross-working spindles. So as I said previously, the capabilities of the L20 have not changed. The B-axis is being fully utilized and enhanced by the automatic tool changer. Y-axis function remains the same. Tooling options at the end and working and back tools are still available. The Cincom Streamline control is still used. It continues to make use of the LFV function. The ATC is just one more added feature to contribute to the versatility and productivity of this machine. Let's take a look at this video and show you the complete manufacture of an entire part. Gives you an idea of not just the ATC, but also the capability of the machine, the speed that it functions. Very nice machining of the angle of the stem. Contouring around to give yourself a nice chamfer at the end of the part. Okay, see there the tool handoff? Quick little helical milling. One of the things I think most of you know is if you notice this, we're not doing standard turning and drilling, which most people associate with Swiss machining here. Most of these functions are done with end mills or rotating tools. Something to consider when you're looking at a Citizen Swiss machine is it doesn't necessarily have to be a standard turning or drilling operation. If the part can be made out of the 20 millimeter diameter or whatever the max capacity of the machine is, it can probably be made. So you see now that we're milling the diameter with an end mill. Contouring here is I think you see that with all these tools, you can make an extremely complex part. The cost of the machine is relatively inexpensive as compared to a machine such as the M with the turret and gang slide with multiple tools. Very fast, gives you an additional option as far as what you can purchase. Mill interpolation. As I said, citizens in their software have created some features in their software that make programming these angles and stuff a lot simpler than they used to be. We will be covering the programming of this machine in a later presentation. Okay, and we're going to bring it on home now with a cutoff move. I'm going to show you here that even though we've added this ATC, we still have the functionality of an L20 type 12 with the back block, the live tools. Again, we've just enhanced the machine by adding the ATC, making it much more productive than it was otherwise. So if you need the versatility of having a lot of tools mounted, or you want to have multiple setups on multiple parts set up at one time, this machine does give you that capability. There's a little bonus here I've thrown in. We've actually added this tandem tools on the L20, something you can talk to your sales about. Okay, I'm going to transfer this over now to Bailey Stump. He's going to talk a little bit about the programming of the machine and the actual making it work. Richard, you want to take over to Bailey?
We'll transfer Bailey's content.
All right. Hello, everybody.
Okay, it's up.
Okay, so I just want to briefly go over two topics here. The programming of the ATC and the tool setting with the ATC and how easy it is. So everything starts with the N346 code, which only one argument is required. That would be the E argument, and that is what specifies the magazine number for the tool to be changed to. And then optionally, to save cycle time, you can actually give it a Z argument, which will leave the magazine out for consecutive B-axis operations. Want to touch on the series of operations. It's very similar to a traditional machining center. There's an air blast that turns on to keep the tool holders clear of chips. And as far as programming, it's about 4 basic steps before you can begin cutting, so it's pretty simple. So the first code would be your M346, and this is going to store the current tool and retrieve tool from ATC magazine number 2. You're going to call up ATC tool number 12. It's always tool 12. Then you're going to turn on the spindle, 12,000 max RPM, and then any available offset. I prefer to use the T51s through T62. And then basically at this point, you can begin machining. Talk about tool overhang and stroke. So 30 millimeter max tool stick out. And 10 millimeter max tool shank diameter based on ER16 collet. You can put up to a 30 millimeter max tool diameter. And your y-axis stroke is greater than max material diameter. You've got plenty of room basically to cover max material diameter, max tool diameter, plus if you have the 25 millimeter capacity option. One thing to note, there is no B-axis for the subspindle. Manual operation of the ATC. There's a dedicated page of the preparation screen where most of your operations can be performed as far as the magazine case. There is one physical button outside the machine, which is what you use to tool clamp and unclamp. As far as tool setting, it's pretty basic. I generally will set the tools in the holder outside the machine to 30 millimeter max. In the manual mode, mount the tool holder on the ATC spindle using tool clamp unclamp button. Just like the B-axis on the older L12 or the older Type 12, it's set as a cross tool. And then you can just set the tool using diameter. Then you can go to the ATC subscreen and select magazine number and tool change, and that's basically pretty straightforward as far as calling the next tool to set, and you just repeat the process. So I might have moved a little bit quick there, but just wanted to run it through basic. So just one encode, only 4 steps to begin cutting, and tool setting is very similar to B-axis setting on an earlier Type 12 machine. And that pretty much wraps it up.
Thank you, Bailey.
Okay.
Glenn, you get a
Yep.
transition. There we go.
Back of there. Okay. Okay, let's just summarize a little bit about what we've been talking about. Citizen MCC has a long history of design innovations. Each new innovation builds upon previous designs. We've developed a modular concept to our machines that gives you a lot of capability, a lot of things that you can add or subtract to the machine. They're not limited to just turning and drilling operations. And we've talked about the Citizen Streamline control, which really enhances your productivity. We've discussed the laser welding attachment. Again, that'll be another presentation. We'll go into more further depth on the laser welder. The LFV function, that'll be covered in another presentation, more in depth than that. Very valuable, useful function of the machine. Programming the B-axis, again, covered in another one. That brings us to the L20XII, the automatic tool changer. It is available for sale right now. If you just recently introduced, that's what we're talking about today. So you may ask yourself, how can I buy one of these things? Well, there's 2 ways you can go about it here. The machine can be purchased from the factory with the ATC already installed. Keep in mind that this will be a special order because what we've decided at MCC, we're going to sell the automatic tool changer as a retrofit kit. So we've started bringing machines in what they call ATC ready, which means the machine can have this thing added on in the field or in one of our offices for delivery to you. Currently, we are stocking machines that are not only LFV ready, but ATC ready as well. contact your local dealer and they can give you the pricing on this and get you going on it. So with that, I hope you guys learned a little bit. We're excited about this machine. We think it'll give you a lot of capability. It's got a real place in the future of MCC and Citizen-Cincom. If you've got any questions, the question and answer will still be open. This video presentation has been recorded. We can make that available to you if you want to see it again, or if somebody you know wanted to see it and weren't able to be here, we can make that possible as well. With that, I want to thank you for attending and hope you learned something today. Richard?
Thank you, everybody, for attending. We have a few questions right now in the queue. I'm going to publish a few of them. There was a question about the ATC, so I'm going to publish a few. One that's been answered here. We have one more question about what is the accuracy and repeatability of the ATC. I'm going to publish this.
If we clamp and clamp holder, Z direction repeatability is 1 micron. This is the result of testing.
So hopefully that answers the question for the accuracy for unclamping and reclamping.
Yeah.
So one more question. I'm just going to publish. And does anybody else have any other questions at this time? And see a lot of questions. Hopefully everybody enjoyed. As Glenn said, this will be available for download. We will be able to make this available shortly. I don't see any other new questions, so we'll just wait. We'll wait maybe 30 seconds more to see if we get any new questions in about any subject that was covered. I just published a new question. Will the L20 Type 12 machine be ATC ready? Will all L20 Type 12 machines be ATC ready? You see that question, Mike?
We started shipping ATC ready machine last month. Then current new machine in stock, brand new machine in stock, all ATC ready. But in please contact with your local staff, sales staff to confirm your machine is ready or not, and with serial number information.
Okay, Richard, with that, go ahead.
I see a question here. Yeah, does it use G600 or 700 codes? So it's using G600 codes. It's going to program just like the Type 12. I mean, it is a Type 12 with the ATC on it. I'm just looking through any other questions. So we've had this question a couple times. Will the ATC be available on the L32?
Schedule is unknown, but we requested, MCC requested Japan to develop. We'll be working.
Thank you, Mike.
Mike, a question was asked if the coolant through tools will be available on the ATC. Is that going to be a possibility or no?
Not right now.
Okay. All right.
So we have another question here I'll publish. Can this be added to a machine that's a year or two old?
I believe that's a no. Is that?
I would say that's a no.
Yes,
it has to be an ATC ready.
Right.
No.
So it looks like that's it. I know, Glenn, if you want to summarize and make sure, any other questions, ask if there's any other questions.
Well, if you don't have any questions right now and they come up, just be sure to contact your local dealer or your regional sales manager. As I've said, this is a brand new machine. We've just introduced it. We do have a couple here in the United States you can see as a demo. So anyway, yes, somebody just asked if it's got LFV capability. Yes, it will be LFV capable. So be sure to contact us for further information, as this video will be available if somebody else wants to see it. So I want to thank you very much for joining us. Hope you learned something today. Bye.
Thank you very much. We're going to end the live event at this time.